You ever find yourself blaming traffic for being late? Or, maybe a colleague for not brewing the next pot of coffee? Yeah, we've all been there. But what if accountability isn't really about finding who's at fault? What if it's a powerful skill that we can all get better at? Let's dive in and see how we can shift from that blame game to a place of true ownership. Okay, so first things first, we gotta talk about a very human, very common instinct that reflex to point the finger somewhere, anywhere else when things go wrong. It's this game we all play, a lot of the time without even realizing it. But what exactly is this game? And why is it so darn hard to just stop playing? I mean, how relatable is this? This quote from the Jordan Harbinger show just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly shows how easily blame can become the background music to our day, just playing on a loop without us even really noticing. But why do we do it? Well, it's way more than just a bad habit. It's actually a defense mechanism. Think about it. When we feel anxious or frustrated or maybe a little incompetent, blaming someone else is like a quick eject button. It pushes all that discomfort away from us. It's an easy fix for that psychological pain, but it's a very, very temporary one. So, if blaming is the big problem here, what's the solution? Well, it's not as simple as just flipping a switch from blame to no blame. Instead, let's look at a really powerful framework that can help us figure all this out. It's called the accountability spectrum. And this is where it gets really interesting. This shows the two unhealthy extremes we tend to swing between. On one end, you've got total externalization, that's other blaming, where nothing is ever your fault. And on the complete opposite end, you have internalization, or self-blaming, where absolutely everything is your fault. Sound familiar? A lot of us bounce back and forth between these two. The real goal, then, is to find that healthy, powerful middle ground, that sweet spot. See, true accountability isn't about taking on all the blame, or none of it. It's about being honest and clear-eyed about the specific part we played in a situation, no more and no less. That right there, that's where the real growth happens. So, how do we actually find that middle ground? Well, the journey doesn't start by analyzing everyone else around you. Nope. It starts with a good, hard, honest look at ourselves. The very first key to unlocking accountability is radical self-awareness. This idea from Dr. Terry Jacqua is just, wow, it's pretty profound. What it suggests is that how we see other people, their mistakes, their flaws, is often just a projection of our own inner world. So if we're feeling insecure, we might see criticism everywhere, even when it's not there. We're essentially painting the world with the colors of our own feelings. And this leads us to a really practical tool for building that self-awareness. It's the concept of muhasaba. You can think of it as taking a regular, brutally honest inventory of ourselves. It's the disciplined practice of moving from just unconsciously projecting our stuff onto others to consciously reflecting on ourselves. Okay, but self-awareness is just the first step on the path. To see real change, we have to move from just thinking about it to actually doing something. So once you've looked in the mirror, the next critical step is to own what you see. David Burkus just nails it here. I mean, how many times have you heard one of those so-called apologies, like, I'm sorry if you were offended? That's not an apology, right? That's just dodging responsibility. A real apology takes ownership, directly, cleanly, and with zero excuses. In fact, a genuine, effective apology follows a really clear and powerful formula. It's a three-step process. First, you state what you did, plain and simple. Second, you show that you actually understand the impact it had on the other person. And third, you commit to making it right. This isn't about shame, it's about integrity. It's about actively rebuilding trust. But here's the thing. Taking ownership like that, it's pretty much impossible if your ego is in the driver's seat. To truly apologize and take responsibility, you need a fundamental shift in your mindset, away from the loud noise of arrogance and toward the quiet strength of humility. And wow, when you put them side by side, the difference is just night and day, isn't it? An arrogant leader makes it all about them. They're seeking attention, flaunting their authority. A humble leader, though, they focus their energy on lifting other people up. They build relationships based on real trust and genuine respect. I absolutely love this quote from Tanmay Vora. It just perfectly captures what humble leadership is all about. A humble leader sees themselves as a channel, a catalyst, an enabler. And that allows them to take responsibility for mistakes without their ego getting all defensive, because their main goal is the outcome, not their own personal glory. Okay, we've looked in the mirror, we've taken ownership, and we've adopted a humble mindset. But words, even the most sincere words, can be cheap. There is one final piece of the puzzle that makes accountability real and makes it last. Another gem from David Burkus. Think about it. You can give the best, most heartfelt apology in the world, but if your actions don't change, what are those words really worth? Trust is rebuilt through consistent, day in and day out actions that prove you meant what you said. And the payoff for that proof, it is huge. Research actually shows that in high-trust organizations, which, by the way, are built by accountable leaders, employees report a massive 74% less stress. So proof doesn't just build trust, it literally builds a better, healthier environment for everyone. But that begs the question, right? Where does that consistency come from? What drives us to act with integrity even when no one is watching? Well, the Islamic concept of ihsan gives us a really powerful internal engine for that. It's this idea of striving for excellence in everything you do, driven by the belief that you are always being observed. It's the ultimate motivation, because it's not about what other people think. It's about your own internal standard of excellence. So to bring it all together, true accountability isn't some destination you arrive at. It's a continuous practice. It's a skill. And it's built on these 4 incredibly powerful pillars: looking in the mirror through self-awareness, making the real apology of radical ownership, adopting the mindset of a humble leader, and finally, delivering the undeniable proof of consistent action. Ultimately, accountability is a choice. It's a choice we make every single day in every single interaction. It's not about being perfect, it's about where we consciously decide to stand on this spectrum. So the real question I want to leave you with is this: where on the accountability spectrum will you choose to be?